All right, hello once again. This is Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College. And as part of the Rankin Technical College AWD, or Application and Website Development Program, and in particular, the AWD 1111.NET Framework with Web Databases class for the fall 2019 semester, I've been creating a series of video presentations based on the textbook for the class, the one shown on screen, Pro ASP.NET MVC5, and A-Press text by Adam Freeman. I'm in Chapter 23 of 27, and we're near the top of page 653, creating an unobtrusive Ajax form. The author says we're now ready to start applying unobtrusive JavaScript features to the example application, starting with an unobtrusive Ajax form. The goal here, it says, is that only data in the HTML table element is replaced when the user clicks on the submit button. Okay, it means the first thing we need to do is refactor the action methods for the people controller so that I can just get the data we want through a child action. So we're going to have to go into our people controller.cs file. First we'll add this. A lot of stuff open in here again, so try to close a little bit of it at least. And I know that there is going to be some of it that we're going to have to reopen, but that's okay. All right, so we're into our people controller. Excuse me, right here. I think that's the one we were supposed to be changing. Yep. All right, so after the using system, we'll add using system.collections.generic. Well, that was interesting. Try that. There we go. All right. Next, after our index method, we're going to add this partial view result. We've got a lot more stuff in here than they're showing in the book. I don't know, they've got these get peoples in here. I'm just going to leave them there. All right, so there's our partial view result right there. Oops, and I think that one there. All right, so we've got to get people here. We've already got to get people here. That was a post. I don't know if that's supposed to be just a tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take everything that I'm not sure is supposed to be in here, all right, which is the stuff I just above what I just added. I'm going to comment all of that out. Right, this is our partial view. And as you can see, anything in there that's got role is just plain gummed up. Okay. All right. So we added the get people data action that selects person objects that are needed to display, and we pass them to the partial view method to generate the table rows that are required. Because the selection of the data is handled in the getPeopleDataAction method, we've been able to simplify this method and remove the post version completely. Well, I guess that's what we talked about right here. All right. So the contents of the getPeopleData.cs HTML file. All right, so the contents right now of the getPeopleCS HTML file are right here. Using, and that's where I'm having my problems. And they show you how to update the file on 654 at the top of page 655. Let's just remove what's in there and replace it with what's on the bottom of 654 and 655. So updating. People right there on 654. Well, again, I'm not sure if I've grabbed everything or not, so I'm going to grab it again. There we go. All right. And the author says here on page 655, we have changed the view model type to string, into which we pass an HTML.action helper method to invoke the getPeopleChild action. Okay? All right. Next, we want to come in and we want to create the Ajax form. So I still have a synchronous form in the application after all these changes, but I've separated out the functionality in the controller so that I can request just the table rows through the getPeopleData action. So we want to go back to our getPeople.cs HTML. Right here. String, view bag, getPeople, layout. So we want to add into this first this Ajax options. Now they do mention down toward a little further down on the page, so there's two things more we want to change here. All right, first in our table here, in our T body, we want to give this an ID so we're able to work on it later with some of our CSS. And the author calls it what it is, gives it an ID of table body. Now the using now becomes a using Ajax dot begin form, not an HTML begin form. And we need to put in here get people data, comma, Ajax ops. And this has to be inside of, fix this first, double quotes. All right. again, I'm having problems with that role. But the Ajax option class is in the system.web.mvc.ajax namespace. It defines properties that allow the programmer to configure how the asynchronous request to the server is made and what happens to the data that comes back. All right. These associated properties are shown on page 656 at the top of the page. And as the author says, in the listing we've set the update target ID that you can see right here, the table body. This is the ID assigned to the T-body HTML element in the view listing. When the user clicks the submit button, an asynchronous request will be made to the get people data action method, and the fragment that is returned is used to replace the existing elements in the body. So again, just changing what you need to change. All right. The author says, that's all there is to it. I replace the begin form with the Ajax begin form and ensure I have a target for the new control. Everything else happens automatically. Okay. When you call the Ajax.begin form helper method, the options specified using the Ajax options object are transformed into attributes applied to the form element, as shown down here. All right. When the HTML page rendered from the getpeople.cs HTML view is loaded by the browser, the associated JavaScript scans the HTML elements and identifies the Ajax form by looking for elements that have a data minus Ajax attribute. Okay. And again, the author mentions in this tip, this is one way of doing this. All right. And I think the author is basically showing you what he does and is saying, hey, this is how I do it. You know, you may be able to find a way that works better for you. All right, we're at 12.5 minutes before I go in to setting Ajax options, which is next. Here on the bottom of 657, I'm going to stop this lesson and we will continue on in a matter of minutes.